You wake each morning, do you not? The same cold dread coils in the pit of your stomach, the same chorus of anxieties about money, about time, about your own perceived inadequacies. You rise from your bed already defeated, your mind a polluted swamp of yesterday's failures and limitations. This is the poverty of mind that afflicts 98% of humanity, the very reason they remain shackled to lives of quiet, agonizing desperation. It is a prison built not of iron bars, but of flimsy thoughts, weak desires, and a complete and utter lack of mental discipline. It is the state of drifting I warned about in my work, Outwitting the Devil, where you allow the currents of circumstance to carry you to the shores of failure. But today, right now, as my voice penetrates your consciousness, those chains are about to be pulverized. What if I told you that the first 5 minutes after you open your eyes dictate the trajectory of your entire day, your week, your destiny? What if I revealed that every monumental achievement, every breakthrough invention, every legacy that echoes through time, began not with a grand physical action, but with a quiet, deliberate, and fiercely spoken word, a command issued to the universe from a mind fortified by unshakable, burning faith? This is not a pleasant theory for the idle dreamer. This is the foundational, operational principle of my entire philosophy of achievement. Stop what you are doing, cease your mindless scrolling, silence the chatter in your room, and listen to me with the entirety of your being. The words I am about to impart are not mere suggestions. They are the immutable laws of success, forged in the crucible of a quarter-century of relentless research into the lives of history's greatest titans. The vast, yawning chasm between the life you currently endure and the life you were destined to command lies in one single, powerful word: discipline. Welcome to Napoleon Hill's Discipline. We are not here to offer you fleeting comfort or hollow platitudes. We are here to rebuild you from the ground up, to forge you into a weapon of purpose and will. The philosophy I distilled in my life's work, particularly in my book Think and Grow Rich, is not a passive text to be read and forgotten. It is a live blueprint for power that only unleashes its godlike potential when it is hammered into your soul through iron, unyielding discipline. This channel is your self-development roadmap, but the journey demands that you take immediate, massive action, that you learn to stay hard against every conceivable challenge. For 25 years, I was granted a privilege few have ever known. I delved into the minds of over 500 of America's most formidable figures: Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller. I sought the golden thread, the secret alchemy that transmuted their intangible thoughts into colossal, tangible fortunes. I discovered it, not in their bustling boardrooms or their deafening factories, but in the sacred, silent, and fiercely guarded moments of the dawn. I found a secret morning ritual that weaponized their minds for victory before their feet had even touched the floor. You are about to be entrusted with that very secret. Let me be brutally clear. The human mind is both a transmitting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. When you speak words charged with deep, volcanic emotion, you send a direct, non-negotiable order to your subconscious mind, that sleeping giant within you, which is connected to the infinite storehouse of universal intelligence. This is not mysticism. It is a scientific fact I have observed and documented for decades. Your subconscious mind does not argue, question, or doubt. It accepts what you feed it with feeling and begins, immediately and relentlessly, to orchestrate your reality to match that command. It moves people, attracts opportunities, and shapes circumstances to bring about the physical equivalent of your dominant thoughts. For too long, you have been a willing victim of your own mental laziness. You have allowed your mind to run rampant, an untamed stallion dragging you through the mud of fear and the thorns of perpetual doubt. You have been engaging in a battle with the negative forces in your own skull, and you have been consistently, shamefully losing. The 11 phrases I am about to gift you are the bridle, the bit, and the saddle for that wild horse. They will give you absolute mastery, These are not simply pleasant affirmations or shareable motivational quotes. They are the concentrated, weaponized essence of a success philosophy distilled from the daily discipline of men who built empires from nothing but an idea. Each phrase is a key to a specific chamber of power within you. Together, they form a master key that will unlock the vault of unlimited achievement and cultivate a genuine abundance mindset. But it demands a sacrifice. It demands your unwavering, uncompromising daily discipline. But I can hear the whispers of your doubt, the insidious voice of your conditioned mediocrity. Words? How can mere words change my grim reality, Mr. Napoleon Hill? This is the voice of the herd, the chorus of the 98% who have accepted the prison of their five senses as the totality of existence. I am here today to tell you that your words, when charged with faith, are the most powerful creative force in the universe. They are the architects of your destiny. Before a skyscraper can be built, it must exist as a blueprint. Your words are the blueprints for your life, which your subconscious mind will build with unerring precision. The transformation that awaits requires only two things from you, but they are non-negotiable. First, that you speak these phrases every single morning, without fail, as a sacred, non-negotiable ritual. It must become as essential as breathing. Second, that you speak them with the fire of absolute belief, a burning desire that consumes all doubt. Words without feeling are corpses, useless, and inert. But words combined with the white-hot fire of desire, they are invincible armies that will conquer any obstacle and vanquish any foe. Prepare yourself. This is more than just a dose of study motivation. This is the beginning of your true training. This is where you learn to stay hard when life itself tries to soften you, to break you. This is the first, most critical step on your self-development journey, from who you are to who you were born to be. We will now forge the 11 pillars of your new reality, the foundational stones of your empire. Phrase 1. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Let these words detonate in your consciousness. Most people live as leaves in the wind, pathetic victims of circumstance. They blame the economy, their boss, their family, everything and everyone but the one person holding the reins of power, themselves. This is a slave's mentality. I tell you, based on my exhaustive 25-year study, that every single circumstance in your life today is a direct, crystallized result of your past thoughts. William Ernest Henley was not penning pretty poetry. He was stating a universal law as immutable as the law of gravity. Charles M. Schwab, a man I studied closely, began as a $1-a-day laborer in Andrew Carnegie's steel mills. But every morning, he stood before his modest mirror and declared with unshakable faith that he was the master of his fate. He didn't wish, he commanded. The universe had no choice but to obey. The result? He became the first man in American history to earn a salary of over $1 million a year as president of the United States Steel Corporation. This is not a mere motivational quote to be glanced at. It is a declaration of absolute sovereignty over your life. It is the very bedrock of the philosophy laid out in my book, Think and Grow Rich. Phrase 2. My definite chief aim guides my every action. This is the starting point of all high achievement. Without a definite chief aim, you are a ship without a rudder, destined to crash upon the rocks of failure. As I have stated countless times, 98 out of every 100 people fail because they never decide exactly what they want from life. They have vague hopes and flimsy wishes. You will have a definite, crystal clear aim. Edwin C. Barnes was a nobody from nowhere when he decided his definite chief aim was to become the business partner of the great Thomas Edison. He had no money, no connections, nothing but a burning, obsessive desire. Every single morning, he declared his purpose. When he finally stood before Edison, looking like a common tramp, Edison saw past the tattered clothes and into the raging fire in his eyes, the unmistakable fire of a definite purpose. Your definite chief aim is a command to your subconscious mind. It is the ultimate source of study motivation for your self-development. It provides the clarity needed for all strategic thinking and requires relentless discipline to keep it at the very forefront of your mind, every second of every day. Phrase 3, I possess within me all the power I need. You have been systematically conditioned to believe in limitation. Your parents, your teachers, your society have all, perhaps unintentionally, programmed you for mediocrity. I, Napoleon Hill, am here today to deprogram you, to tell you that belief in your own limitation is a damnable lie. You already possess, within your own magnificent mind, direct access to infinite intelligence. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling, yet he held over 1,000 patents. How? He understood a secret his educated critics did not. He knew how to tap into the limitless power within. When faced with a problem, he would sit in silence and affirm his connection to the source of all knowledge. Born into the horrors of slavery, George Washington Carver became one of the greatest scientists of his age by simply asking the Creator for answers, and then having the faith to listen. When you affirm this phrase, you are tearing down the prison walls of self-doubt. You stop operating at a miserable 10% of your potential. You are claiming your divine birthright to power. Phrase 4. Today, I will go the extra mile in all I do. This single principle of my philosophy has, by itself, created more millionaires than any other. It is so simple that most overlook it, yet so powerful that those who apply it cannot fail. The mediocre masses are defined by one creed. What's the least I can do to get by? They watch the clock. They resent extra work. They complain about their pay. Then they wonder why opportunity never knocks. The law of increasing returns is absolute. When you consistently render more service and better service than you are paid to render, you inevitably set in motion a force that brings you returns far greater than your efforts. Charles Schwab took a failing steel mill and, by instilling this habit of excellence, turned it into the most profitable jewel in Carnegie's empire. His reward was a $1 million bonus. Going the extra mile isn't about working yourself to exhaustion. It is about adopting an attitude of excellence in everything you do. It makes you a beacon in a vast sea of mediocrity. It's the conscious decision to stay hard and deliver overwhelming value beyond any expectation. This daily discipline guarantees that opportunity will not just knock, but will break down your door to get to you. Phrase 5. I attract wealth through service to others. You must destroy, utterly and forever, the false and poisonous belief that wealth comes from taking advantage of others. Every great and lasting fortune I studied was built upon a bedrock of massive service. Let me state this as a law. Your reward in life will always be in direct and exact proportion to the quality and quantity of service you render to others. Henry Ford became a titan not by focusing on his own profits, but by obsessing over how to provide affordable, reliable transportation to the masses. The unimaginable fortune that flowed to him was merely the natural byproduct of the immense service he rendered to millions. Money is nothing more than a symbol of value delivered. It flows to those who provide it and flees from those who try to get without giving. When you affirm this phrase, you develop a service consciousness. You begin to see opportunities to add value everywhere. This shift in mindset is the core of a true abundance mindset. You become a magnet for prosperity because you align yourself with the fundamental law of exchange. This is the foundation of all legitimate wealth creation. Phrase 6. I transform every failure into a stepping stone. Listen closely, for this principle will liberate you forever from the fear that paralyzes 98% of people. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This is not a comforting platitude to soothe a wounded ego. It is a demonstrable fact that I prove time and again in Think and Grow Rich. Abraham Lincoln failed in business, was defeated in numerous elections, and suffered unimaginable personal loss. Each failure was a lesson from the universe, forging the strength and wisdom he would need to save a nation. Thomas Edison, when a reporter asked how it felt to fail 10,000 times to create the light bulb, replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Most people are broken by failure. They quit at the first sign of opposition. But with this mindset, you become immune. You learn to stay hard. You see every setback as a setup for a comeback. This is discipline in its purest form, the stubborn, unyielding refusal to be defeated by what is merely a temporary setback. Phrase 7. I am building my success with patience and persistence. In your modern age of instant gratification, this virtue has been all but forgotten, yet it remains as true today as it was at the dawn of time. All enduring success is built gradually, methodically, persistently. There are no shortcuts, no magic buttons. Success is a building process. James J. Hill spent 20 agonizing years building his railroad empire, facing financial ruin, hostile wilderness, and constant ridicule. But he persisted. His supposed folly became one of America's greatest success stories. Small, daily improvements, when applied consistently over time, compound into dramatic, world-changing results. Most people quit just before the gold vein is struck. Impatience is the great destroyer of dreams. Persistence is the quality that makes all other qualities effective. As President Calvin Coolidge so rightly said, persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. This affirmation programs your mind for the long game. It is a commitment to the process, a vital pillar of your ongoing self-development. Phrase 8. My mind is closed to all negative influences. Your mind is a sacred garden. If you allow others, the doubters, the critics, the quitters, the so-called realists, to plant seeds of fear and limitation, that is precisely what you will harvest. You must become a ruthless, vigilant guardian at the gate of your mind. Henry Ford was told by engineers, financiers, and even his own father that his vision for a motor car for the masses was impossible. He shut them out. He hermetically sealed his mind against their poison. Negative thoughts are a contagious mental disease. You must practice the technique of mental substitution. When a negative thought dares to enter your mind, you must consciously and forcefully replace it with a positive one that is in harmony with your definite chief aim. This is a non-negotiable daily discipline. There are absolutely no excuses for allowing negativity to take root in the fertile soil of your mind. Focus on yourself and your vision, not the cacophony of the crowd. Phrase 9. I am profoundly grateful for this day and its opportunities. Gratitude is not a passive, pleasant emotion. It is an active, magnetic force. It is a scientific principle that what you focus on with emotion expands in your life. When you are genuinely grateful, you shift your focus from lack to abundance, from problems to possibilities. John D. Rockefeller, even when he was a struggling bookkeeper, began each day by giving thanks for his health, his job, and the opportunity to learn. This attitude of gratitude attracted the people and circumstances that led to his colossal empire. What you appreciate, appreciates. By being grateful for what you have, you create the fertile mental soil for an abundance mindset to flourish. The ungrateful person lives in a self-imposed prison, blind to the blessings and opportunities that surround them. The grateful person lives in an ever-expanding universe of possibility. To be consistently grateful is an act of high-level mental discipline. Phrase 10. I act with decision and courage today. Indecision and procrastination have murdered more dreams, killed more ambitions, and destroyed more opportunities than all other causes combined. Successful people have one trait that sets them apart. They make decisions quickly and change them slowly, if at all. Failures do the exact opposite. When Hernán Cortés landed in Mexico with a small band of men to conquer an empire of millions, his first act upon landing was to burn his ships. Retreat was no longer an option. This single, decisive act transformed his ordinary men into an unstoppable force of conquerors. Fear is the parent of indecision. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is taking action in the presence of fear. Each time you act decisively, despite being afraid, you strengthen your courage muscle. This affirmation primes your mind for immediate action over endless hesitation. It aligns you with the doers, the leaders, and the movers of the world. Phrase 11. I am becoming the person I was meant to be. This final affirmation is the capstone that locks the entire structure into place. True success is not merely about what you acquire. It is about who you become in the process. You were born with unique gifts, talents, and a vast potential. Your true purpose in life is to become the fullest, grandest expression of that potential. Booker T. Washington was born into slavery but refused to be defined or limited by it. He committed to a lifetime of relentless growth, of continuous self-development. He understood that small daily improvements are the secret to magnificent transformation. The person you are today is the cumulative result of all your yesterdays. The person you will be tomorrow is being created by what you think and do right now. This affirmation is a sacred vow to your own evolution. You declare to the universe that you will not settle for mediocrity. This is the ultimate goal of the philosophy I, Napoleon Hill, have dedicated my entire life to teaching, a philosophy immortalized for all time in my work, Think and Grow Rich. So, you have the 11 phrases. You have the keys to the kingdom. But knowledge without application is worthless, a mental trinket. The world is full of educated failures who know what to do but lack the discipline to do it. Here is your sacred ritual, your non-negotiable command to yourself. Rise 30 minutes earlier than you must. No excuses. If you are not willing to sacrifice 30 minutes of sleep for a lifetime of achievement, then you are not yet serious about success. Find a private place where you will not be disturbed. Guard this time as you would guard your life. This is your appointment with your Creator and your subconscious mind. Stand before a mirror. Look yourself directly in the eyes. This is essential, for the eyes are the windows to the soul. This creates a powerful feedback loop between your conscious and subconscious minds. Speak each phrase aloud 3 times. The first time, speak it to state the intention. The second time, speak it with rising, palpable emotion. The third time, speak it with the unshakable conviction of an established, undeniable fact. Feel the words. Let them burn within you. Afterward, stand in complete silence for 5 minutes. Do not think of your daily tasks. Simply remain in a state of quiet, faithful expectancy. This is the period of impression, where the seeds you have planted sink deep into the fertile soil of your subconscious. Do this for 30 consecutive days without a single miss. If you miss one day, your count resets to day 1. This is not a punishment. It is a recognition of how new neural pathways are formed. It is the price of rewiring your brain for automatic success. This is the very definition of discipline. You now possess the morning ritual that has transformed ordinary men into extraordinary achievers. You have the same 24 hours in a day that Carnegie had, that Ford had, that Edison had. The only difference between you and them is how you use the first 30 minutes after you awaken. They used it to program their minds for success. Will you? The choice is yours. Continue as you have been, a ship adrift on the ocean of life, or seize the helm and chart your own course to any port you choose. The chains of mediocrity are already weakening. Tomorrow morning, you will speak the words that will shatter them forever. Your greater future is calling to you from the dawn. Rise early. Speak boldly. Believe completely. Act decisively. Persist relentlessly. And above all, stay hard. You have been listening to Napoleon Hill's Discipline. The difference between failure and success lies in discipline. To forge your abundance mindset and continue this vital journey of self-development, subscribe now. Your training begins today.